Finally, I have everything that I need. Thanks to that mad poet, I have the Necronomicon and a destination, finally, to locate the forgotten city of Neruzavin. This journey will be a long one, surely across land and seas both. But after all the effort that has been put forth, after everything I have attempted over the last few years, this is the victory lap. I will be denied no longer. The black stars beckon, and I will find them. I am Count Lowls IV, and when I am done here, no academic throughout the inner seas will forget this name. Somewhere, deep within these sands, I will build history.
What a surprise! Run into more people from my past, and apparently my son. Everything's great for me. Not for you guys so much.
They attacked your ship.
And then stopped when they recognized me.
That's fair. He has this.
This is very. This is under no debate. He's the best.
He's
Like,
the
like,
best.
Time.
There's no way that we're refuting that, right? Like,
You had so many friends in Thrushmoor.
did I?
Hey,
You
said
know
people
what
who
the main
pretended.
friend that I had in Thrushmoor did? Oh, that's right. She was the boss battle.
At least you had a friend.
That's okay. I mean, Easy's girlfriend was also
Also
the
the
boss
boss.
battle. So like, what is that? That's only so much. That's you don't need to over exaggerate that. It's only worth what it's worth.
Imagine having friends.
Maybe you just hadn't murdered that lady.
If you had friends, then they would be a boss battle.
Maybe
You're
Which
right.
honestly is telling now. I'm
We all
starting to be
had
afraid
one
of everybody.
important woman in our backstory.
Oh, don't you
One
worry.
important woman.
I'm gonna roll one bad stress check at the start of a non-trivial fight, and I become the boss battle. Just you wait.
He's excited. He's waiting.
I'm ready for it.
Can you scoop in battle?
we scoop at reaction speed.
Previously
On Dragon
on
Ball
Strange
Z.
Aeons, I can't say last week because we weren't here last week due to the every third week we'll be missing in perpetuity going forward. Our adventures in the day may have been more interesting long term than our adventures in the dream. We fought some gugs, sure. Marius had a very unique experience, but has returned to the party. Easy at this point, all but refusing to even leave his bed. And your ship, sailing down the Selin Passage, was attacked by a group of particularly skilled pirates. Some of the most well-equipped and well-trained combatants that any of you have faced in battle before. And, as Trey said, once their leader, their captain, had boarded the ship, the attack was called off almost immediately as this enigmatic hobgoblin, Daldron, recognized you.
Didn't expect to see you here, Dad. Didn't expect to be here.
What in all the hell's happened to your head? Did you glue that on?
I'm just gonna point at Cammy. Basically, yeah.
This scarred visage of a hobgoblin would be an uncommon sight to find one without such a, well, strangely unique visage. Grins near ear to ear as he calls off the attack on your ship and strides forward, arms up, strange blade slung across his back towards Trey.
Oh my god.
I gotta say, This is the last place I expected to find you. You're not even captaining this thing from the looks of it.
No, laying low, getting passage through the river, getting past Rasmuran.
From where? To where? And for what?
So we're going from.
You.
It takes a minute. We've been to a lot of places.
There actually have been a lot of locations. The voyage that you set out on from Thrushmoor to follow after Count Lowls will eventually end in Cassomir, is where you're trying to go.
Gotcha.
You know, that was where he was going to meet with his alchemist, Miaknian Mun. Something that's, well, how long has it been on the water?
About a month.
26 days I have here? Yeah, nearly a month on the river. It seems, well, pretty long ago, considering as far back as you can remember is barely 2 weeks more than that. Really, for 4 of you, most of your life has been now the Sullen Starling on this voyage down to Cassomir, as far as you can recall.
Then Thrushmoor to where?
Cassomir.
Cassomir.
It's the first major port
Yeah.
city on the coast of Taldor, down on the Inner itself.
Chasing down a count and his alchemist. All the way from Thrushmoor to Cassomir.
That's nor the story that I'd expect to hear from you. Boys, wrap it up. These ones are with me. Although, at this point, Skywind comes just stamping over, down from the helm, her strange lever action manticore gun thing still in her hand. And a drink for everyone, not from Skywind. She doesn't look happy. Selkabon / Corey in the chat does, though. Thank you. She's got her hands up in a much different kind of gesture. Whereas Daldron's is friendly and welcoming, Skywind is furious. Her face damn near as red as her hair as she storms right past Trey towards the pirate captain. What in the bloody hell do you make of this? The hull of me ship! You rammed the thing! Ripped it to pieces! It's barely seaworthy! There's not a dry dock till Riverton! And, Daldron looks all the way down, almost comically, like, in an somewhat insulting fashion, physically bending forward
Oh, I talk to short
to
people.
turn 90 degrees, looming over her. Skywind, not intimidated literally at all, just glares up at him. Ah! My mistake. You're the captain, then, I presume. And she just grits her teeth. You're damn right on the bloody cabin! What? Tell me why I shouldn't have your legs off right this instant! You're more than welcome to try. But... He just motions out towards Stray. Family business. Don't worry your little head about it.
You got a place we can pull this in and get it fixed?
Well, as your astute little halfling here pointed out, not much we can do until Riverton. Few days down the river here. And he turns around and walks back over towards where he'd ascended onto the boat, looking over to the side to where the smaller dinghy that had just hooked into the side is attached. And you can see what actually happened where you bonked this ship. They have attached a huge metal, what's effectively set of grappling hooks, almost like sharp piercing anchors, yes, into the side of the hull that have gripped and broken into the outer wood of the hull. Largely fusing the two ships together in a way that does not look like it is easily undone. This is not a thing that you could easily separate, and even if you did, it doesn't exactly take a very high lower sailing check to realize that would just put a lot of very large holes into the hull of your ship, which, while they would be a little bit above the waterline for now, probably not a fantastic idea. Both of these two ships are sort of stuck together until you can get to a dry dock or somewhere that you could take a day to separate and repair the two of them to make them seaworthy independently again. And he leans over on the railing, looking down at the prow of the Sullen Starling and his little assault jetty, and turns back around.
Well, looks like 2 ships have become 1 now, At least until Riverton.
And not much we can do about it.
On the back of the ship, this fight was called off very abruptly. There are still 3 other pirates that had boarded the deck. The one assassin in the back that was attacking Cammy, that Cammy just punched. When the fight was over, just smacked him. The other hobgoblin and the dwarven man that were the big shield-bearing frontliners. One of their shields absolutely obliterated by your
I
spear.
didn't destroy it. It's just barely functional.
Yeah, it's kind of an object that's attached to his arm. A shield would be an incorrect description at this point. It could be repaired, but that would take some time and effort for sure, and some good materials. The dwarf has gotten the shield unhooked from his arm and just kind of dropped it on the deck, and is just sitting there, arms crossed, glaring across the crew. He's got a look that you could all recognize pretty well as scouting. This guy is obviously not familiar with any of you, and should anything break back out, he is just watching to see if anyone is going to start to make a move. The hobgoblin next to him, still with his weapon in hand, is just looking almost not so much confused, but entertained. A smile not quite as big as Daldron's, but one fairly close. Ha! I should have figured no one could put up a fight like that with Daldron's own blood. Hell, I would have thought you just fought your way out of the ground itself rather than being, well, you know. Daldron just laughs. What do you think we reproduce by budding? Where'd you come from? You have a family. Anyway, good to see you.
Same to you.
And Skywin just shakes your hand. Wait! We're not bloody doing this! You're not staying on my ship! Daldron just shrugs. Our ship! Now, it's just one mast, you see?
For all intents and purposes. Where else are they gonna go for 2 days?
You see? Listen to Hucklam. He's wise. Wiser than most of our sort, honestly. Not that that's a particularly high bar, you know. Anyway.
Fair trade. You get passage for 2 days. Next time she comes through, she's safe.
2 days?
Well, however long it's gonna take us to get there.
Everything's damn near a week, if we've good wind.
Well, there we go.
And Skywin just turns from Daldron around to Trey.
It's an opportunity
No!
to not be
No!
harassed in the future.
No!
You don't have much of a choice.
It's my bloody ship!
It's got a hole in it.
The front fell off.
I didn't put the hole there. I'm trying to make the best.
I say we just throw them overboard.
Why can't we just kill him?
I mean,
Because it's family, and I have some catching up to do.
From what I hear, you don't even remember your family.
That is why I have catching up to do.
Daldron's like, what? Wait, is that what that look was?
That's the reason we're chasing the Count.
we have some catching up to do.
Took our
Cocks his
memories.
head, still grinning. She's not bloody lying, is she?
No,
You don't even know who I am.
you know
You're just
me.
taking me at my word.
You know
What are
me.
you, stupid?
You know my name.
That's fair, I suppose.
Do you know how many
That means you
people
actually
I've
get
run
that.
into that know my name?
An entire life's worth, I'd imagine.
3.
That sounds about right.
You're the
honestly.
3rd.
So that's the life.
Oh, fair enough.
And pulling out this file. It's in my bag somewhere. But like,
You have
I
your
still have
silent
it.
File?
The only reason I know that you're legit is because my name's on this.
What the hell is
I'll
this?
hand it to him and let him look through it.
He
The
can't
Count
read.
did something to us. We're trying to figure out what.
I know some of these words. What kind of booklet wrote this stuff? A wizard?
An asylum's doctor.
The hell's an asylum?
Place for sick people. Mentally.
Oh, like a doctor. Why don't you just talk normal? Dad, what's wrong with you?
Big words, I know. Sorry. Long story short, we don't even remember who we are.
What, you can't afford a priest? Did you forget there's magic?
They can't do anything about it.
What do you mean they can't do anything about it? I've seen a priest put a kidney back in a man.
We've tried. They literally couldn't fix it.
You're saying this magic of Sarin Ray or whatever can regrow a whole damn leg and can't... Whatever's wrong with you?
Something stronger than a priest.
I really did get
Memories.
messed up. Damn. Shrugs and shakes his head. And Skywind's still sitting there. And she turns from Trey to just kind of looks across the party, decides on easy, and just kind of walks over and just motions for you to come down to her level.
Whoa.
Why aren't we bloody killing them?
It's family business.
What was the deal we had with the group, with you lot getting passage to Cassomir?
Yeah,
You handle things.
we were handling.
This is things.
Yeah, but this is family. We're handling
He
it through
says he's
diplomacy.
family.
We're watching.
Where are they gonna stay?
He's trying to be a good dad.
Is he?
What?
Is he? His son's a bloody pirate captain.
Yeah, but they have the same eyes. I don't know. They're they talk the same. They're both.
Shut up. Ex-pirate captain. I turned over a new leaf, thank you. This is legitimate shipping business.
Maybe his.
And I did it in the shackles, where it's legal. Not the same bloody thing.
Maybe his son could turn a new leaf too. You know, this is a good chance. You know, our ships are.
It looked like he was turning over a new bloody look. It looked like he was gonna turn over our damn insides. Well, he would have found a bunch of hardwood, which no idea how he planned on transporting that in his little dinghy. And this is about the same amount of time has passed over here. And you see Daldron's gaze just kind of move over to this little huddle in the corner. Grin still on his face. He just looks back up the tray. So, friends of yours?
Basically, the deal was we handle incursions, distractions, and otherwise protect the ship while we're on it. Best I can see it, ship's not under threat anymore.
They don't look much your type. Well, that one maybe. But
Well, pointing them out.
Crack shot, great support, great stories, good at night for campfire shenanigans.
you don't have your own stories.
Currently, no.
We need stories for you. Make them. You live them.
Well, yeah, and this one's good at telling them. And then
Pointing at Cammy.
keeps the blood in my body. Can only do so much for myself.
I've got no idea what that's supposed to mean. Healer?
Healer.
Makes sense. No other reason you keep a small folk like that around, I figure.
Well, they're fun to throw around.
That they are.
Burn.
Wait, what?
No offense meant, little miss. Just a statement of fact as it is, you know?
You be very careful. If you hurt this one, that one will gut you.
Ah,
Take that.
it looks like it'd be a good fight, honestly. Shame you were here, admittedly. Looking forward to a good scrap. Haven't heard anyone give my boys that much rust until, well, I don't know when the last time we've really been pressed is, honestly.
You heard of a ship with red sails in these parts?
Red sails. Can't say I have. Be fairly distinctive, I'd imagine.
It's been following us.
Huh.
You happen to see it, feel free.
Well, you're on a river, so I imagine if they're following you, you'd see them. Only one place they could be, ahead or behind.
We don't know. Been some awfully weird things happening. Stuff appearing, disappearing. One of us was basically sucked through time.
Oh, it sounds like we got plenty of time for a family reunion here. If we're gonna have, I estimate a ship stuck together like this isn't gonna cut the water particularly well. 5, maybe 6 days to Riverton? What do you think, Captain, my captain? He turns over towards this little group here. And Skywin, her eyes literally just closed, little hands balled up around her manticore gun.
Called you captain.
I'm imagining she has steam coming out of her ears.
She does not turn around. Our little red one! That's you, ain't it? Is she not here? Here, well, let me finish counting to 10, please.
It's taking a while.
I don't think the Hawkgong can count that high.
And she turns around. Against all my better judgment. Fine. You can find space on the deck or sleep on your own little crappy boat that's stuck to mine like a damn parasite. You stay out the cabins and you don't go below decks. We'll see you to Riverton for some reason, she says, staring directly at Trey.
I stopped the
Veins
fighting.
literally bulging out of her neck. Let's get back underway then.
A quick question. Do we still
Is this
have
to me or to Skywin?
to you?
Okay. She would
do
not
we-
turn and look at you like that.
Do we still have those refugees on board, or did we?
No, they had been offloaded back as
2
soon
days
as you
ago.
reached the River Kingdom. So, yeah, it's probably been like a week and a half since the
He
refugees
was on
had
his
been-
20-year
had been left.
journey.
Yeah, you were having a spiritual adventure, but they are gone. So, you have some more new friends aboard the Sullen Starling.
Almost had too much legroom for a minute.
Which,
You're a dwarf.
admittedly, it's only
You're a dwarf.
You have very short legs, sir.
It's only 4 people. Daldron, the captain of this small little pirate crew, his hobgoblin and his dwarf frontman, and then this assassin who really kind of drawn up and flitting and hiding around the boat as she attacked. You would find out to be a half-elven woman who possibly has a face covered in even more scars than Daldron himself. Something almost a rival MD. Some of them look intentional. Some of them just look like they're from ancient battles. A lot probably like MD at this point. But this attack had happened fairly early in the morning. And while your new friends mill about the ship and quite quickly sort of separate under their own side of the deck, the 4 of them discussing things amongst themselves, Daldron wanted to catch up with Trey later. You would have a day to, do as you do. Research some things, talk to Reese. Speaking of, inside the cabin, we want to jump back a couple of minutes here. When this attack first started, Reese had burst into the cabin to find you. She figured they might need your assistance. As you were boarded, Easy, you were locked up in the cabin, just laying there. Like you have been for days, honestly. Ever since your last foray into the dream, when you went to that necropolis, you briefly fought against a Gug and then decided you had enough of that and left immediately. You have not been feeling particularly well. This may only show 4 for your current stress counter, but as I'm sure you are very acutely aware,
That's
this
24.
is more appropriately 24 at this point, as you have been through a lot. It's all that you can do these days to even wake up, be present, and eat and take care of yourself. Going into the dream again, even helping with this research seems insane, impossible to you. But when Reese bursts through the door at the start of this attack, you can hear the fight outside. And for a moment, you feel horn. It becomes apparent very quickly these are no ordinary pirates. You've seen what your friends are capable of. They would not be bothered by ordinary pirates. You hear Cammy scream as she is stabbed. You hear Trey and MD desperately fighting against the pair of boarders. You hear Marius just firing wildly across the deck and Skywin and her crew scrambling. And you see Reese there saying something. Sword drawn, glancing back and forth between you and the door, but you can't even make out the words, really. And then the sounds of fighting end. You hear this other hobgoblin voice. You hear Trey, you hear them speaking, and you kind of center yourself and shake your head. What is bloody wrong with you?
Sorry.
Did it stop? That sounds like it. Hold on. And she peeks her head out the door and looks. Oh, they've stopped fighting.
Okay.
Come, easy, come on.
All right.
I don't know what's happening out there, but we need you. So this isn't a dream. This is real. I don't know what's happening, but it doesn't sound like it's going great for us.
Okay. Yeah. I'll come. I just don't know how much of a help I'll be here right now.
You would have trudged your way out into that conversation, that interaction. Skywin and dragging you in your discussion about Trey's fatherhood, and then found yourself back here in the cabin again. Many of your friends perusing, researching, getting ready. I assume Cammy probably wanting Reese to work on some things.
Magic school.
But before she does, she would come and bring you over to the corner of the cabin by your bunk. Do you want out of this? Easy. Look, I'm going to say this plainly. I don't think we should stay. I don't think you should stay, at least.
Okay. I just,
You offered me once, and I brought it up again, and this is the last time I'm going to do it. But I don't think you can handle going into the dream again.
I don't think it would.
You've been off, obviously, but if that attack, brigands jumping up on the deck, screaming and swinging swords isn't even enough to rouse you from sleep, where is there even to go from there?
Yeah, I don't even know if I could do it if I go back in there. Like the whole, I don't know, like Trey said, the whole point of me is support, kind of bring people up, but I don't know if I'm up for it. But
Then what are we bloody doing here?
I don't know. I mean, if I leave, then I know I'll just wonder and worry about him the whole time.
It's better than being dead. Or worse. Look. Apparently, we're coming up to a dock called Riverton here within a week. I don't know anything about the place. But if it's a dock that exists in the River Kingdoms long enough for people to know about it, and for it to have a dry dock that functions, it might be the most stable place we're going to find. Until we're near to Cassomir itself. We can't well get anywhere in Keonan, but the River Kingdoms are just, well, the damn River Kingdoms. They're anything. We could make anything of ourselves. It's barely even a kingdom to have. It's just land, towns and cities standing alone and free. And it's a chance for a fresh start.
Okay, we could check it out. I don't want to just do it in like the cover of night or something. I kind of want to. I don't want to.
It's a lot harder if we don't do it in the cover of night.
But then I'll just be doing the same thing I do every time, just leaving and hiding and cowering. I don't know.
That's honorable, but stupid.
I think sometimes that's kind
Pure of heart, dumb of ass.
of.
No, it wouldn't be fair to them. I'm not sure that any of us would still be here if it wasn't to be friends. Myself, much of all. All right. At least you're thinking about it. You have time to dwell on it, and whatever you decide, I'll honor. But I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but I can't do this again. At least not so soon. Alright, do something. Help them figure out this damn Bokru thing. They're getting nowhere. I'm gonna talk to Cammy. And so she would turn and come to you, our fine wizard scholar teacher.
The best in the boat.
I have a doctorate.
Speaking of wizard scholar teacher, as we all split off to do our various things, since I totally remembered and Marcus didn't just lean over and run me, let's briefly introduce our cast for today's adventures. That feels like a good place to start with
Sure.
Easy here.
I'm Kevin. I play Easy, just a normal human bard having a normal hard time.
I'm Sully. I play Cammy, the itty bitty gnomish witch. And I have tenure at magic school.
We can just say that. Yeah. Damn, you can just say anything.
Wait, go back. You want to redo your thing?
Went to
You had the opportunity.
we went to Juilliard.
Howdy, I'm Derp, and I play a scrungly little guy who has a son.
Scrungly.
Little.
Scrungly.
Little.
Maybe you should have named him. Scrungly.
Scrungly dad.
That's what you would have named.
Scrungles.
Scrungles.
Colby. I play MD, our completely normal, full-blooded, hold-scarred orc rogue.
Just an average.
Average.
I'm Marcus. I play Marius, the cool dwarf ranger who has the bachelor's from stone and wood crafting school.
Wood crafting? What are you, some kind of elf?
Wait, we've been over this. I think dwarves use wood.
Remember he fixed Bang
That
Bangs?
door.
Yeah, no,
That's true,
Or
he did fix the door.
I
you
didn't
know
attend
what?
school.
We haven't reintroduced or talked about it in a while. We've just kind of been referencing it. This is our stress meter for the party. This is a new homebrew system adapted from Pathfinder 1st Edition's Sanity rules to track the wear of this eldritch adventure on the minds of our party. This tracks their current levels of stress around the table as we go with their various little colored flags. And as it gets higher, they get closer to breaking. And when they do break,
Stop.
When
Do
this-
it on other people.
when this last little
No,
black
not
bead
that one.
comes across,
Maxed out.
I think he had one. He had one more, right?
terrible things can happen. Sometimes, in the fires of battle, your mind is hardened. Most of the time, it simply breaks. And here we are, the cabin of the sullen starling, trying to figure out how to return to this terrible dream. To learn what we can, gather gifts for a strange figure we know almost literally nothing about, and teach our friend Reese how to do magic. So we'll start with you, Kemi, because you have a little
Yay.
solo session here with Reese as you continue to work on her. Do you want to give me your occultism check?
Of course, this one. 15 on the dice. That's 34.
Ooh!
Spicy.
She has.
Learn.
She's tenured. She is tenured for a reason.
I have tenured for.
You are not quite a crit on 15s, gamer, but you're not terribly far off of it, honestly. You've been working with Reese for a while now, about a week since this idea came forth. She's started to get the basics of simple cantrips. What is simple telekinesis? Nothing that would have any practical combat application, but is an expression of magic nonetheless. A skill founded on truly nothing that she had had before. And for her to grasp it to a level of functionality, reliability within a week is, well, she had a bit of an unprecedented situation. And with it comes unprecedented growth. And today, you discover that perhaps includes unprecedented risks. The magic Reese's trying to emulate is psychic in nature. You're not familiar with that. You have no idea how Melisson spellcraft works, other than just the basic laws of magic that make the world function. And today, while trying to hone some of that more mental aspect, not just moving things around, not just spinning a dagger, but connecting, it happens for a moment. Just like that, it comes and goes. But in that moment, you and Reese, gaze locked together, hands touching like you had Melisson had done with you back when you'd first met her, just trying to emulate as many parts of this as you could logically reason out. You are whisked away into a whirl of uncontrolled memories. An absolute deluge. A mixture of your mind and Reese's and Melisson's. Make me a stress check.
No.
I believe.
It's
I
told
believe in a
no.
thing called 1. Hey, it's a 20.
20.
1 plus 19.
Yeah.
That's really good. That was not going to be a +1 stress. That's with
Do
the
nat
20.
your way out of a -2 stress. That'd be funny.
I was it was
I think that I might have.
it was DC 15 to gain nothing. DC 8 to gain 1, otherwise 2 was what I was going to go with on that
And I
one.
rolled really high and still gained
Feeling
2.
lightheaded.
You, fortunately, are one of the only other people who has already connected to Melisson's mind. Now, while what you saw when you connected to her was a very specifically curated selection of memories and visions and tended to convert you, what comes out of Reese is absolutely uncontrolled. But you were adept enough at this. You're the teacher for a reason. You have tenure. To not get stuck. To not get locked into this. To not lose yourself in that. And be able to sift through it to find you in that moment and break away before anything bad happens. Reese immediately, profusely apologizing, the closest you've actually seen to an actual panic in her eyes. You don't know exactly what she experienced, but you imagine it's much the same. That's big progress. What are the rest of you doing?
Looks.
Books. I'm going to take easy, and he's going to help me with the water lizard. I'm going to have initial brother time.
Foe crew.
I think we just slam out that one. I think we just jump on it.
I think we're really close to finishing
Oh, well
it.
then we'll keep doing what we were
You
doing.
have
Heartstone.
You've made 12 points of progress on the Greenstone Idol.
I have so many notes on
You've
it.
made 7 points of progress on the Ambassador's Heartstone. So how do you want to divide this up?
Us two, those two.
All right, we'll start with the Heartstone. Give me the assist first.
Heartstone.
And the
Heartstone was
Heartstone,
Arcana.
as
and
you research Arcana, Medicine, Occultism.
Whichever one you want to roll for the
As
I'll
assist.
you
do
start to,
medicine.
pour back over these materials, trying to find more information about Quaviandra.
It's pretty
It's a
average.
fixed DC 20 for aid.
Okay, yeah, I got 24.
All right,
Yeah,
plus
so that's
one.
+1. So that gives me plus nat 20.
Oh my gosh.
20 tables with it.
Which one are you guys working on?
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone.
That's D8.
2d8 on the critical
Ah.
success.
Really, really good.
Ooh, I think I'm going to give you 2 little info nuggets on
5.
this one. Never mind, you get 1.
This has happened twice, I think.
You
Well,
have
the first
crit-
time it was 3.
You have crit the Hearthstone and rolled average or below for a single d8 twice now.
Yeah.
Dice.
Dice.
But,
It's a dice game.
hey, that's progress, though.
I have a long notes on the heart.
Last time you worked on this research, the day before, you had learned the name Quaviandra, I believe.
Yep.
And that gives you a lot to follow up on, because it is a name that is kind of surprisingly common throughout some of these tomes that you're searching through, because one of them contains a large register of diplomats. Not traditional diplomats, not envoys that are going between countries, but extraplanar diplomats who travel between dimensions, travel the boundaries between entire planes, from the cities of brass and the plane of fire to the great walled perfect capitals of Axis. There are a huge number of these travelers, and among that roster is Quaviandra. She may be a night hag, but she is a known quantity, a known and accepted quantity. And she is listed as a primary ambassador to a city called Dilath Lean.
Now we just got to figure out how to get there.
Dilath Lean, from what you can find following up on that, another name to chase down, is a rather grim city, almost seemingly carved from basalt. Just ominous, monolithic blocks stretching out as far as the eye can see throughout the Dreamlands. And it is one of the Dreamland's most notorious havens of vice.
We're going
Anything
to
you
Sin City.
want. You can find in Dilath Lean.
Viva Las Vegas.
Other pair,
Hearthstone.
you guys are working on the idol.
I just wanted to say, too, that Marius, while he was helping, is going to also be keeping a curious eye on that assassin woman.
Fair enough.
Want to lead us? You lead. What is the rules actually?
For the Greenstone Idol, we have occultism, we have religion, and we have diplomacy.
I'll aid.
It's crazy that the bard would rather use occultism than diplomacy. This is the wildest bard stat block
Oh wait,
I think I've ever
you
seen.
said diplomacy?
Yeah.
I think he's also
That was like, I don't know what is happening on your sheet over there that your diplomacy is lower than your occultism. But
I
like, wow,
rolled-
that's a new kind of
This
bard.
is Strange Aeons, right?
That's fear only bard.
Fear only bard. I rolled an 18 on the die for a total of 34.
Ooh, what's your proficiency?
Master in religion.
+3, baby!
Ooh.
+3 from that aid. It kicks up at master.
No. I don't want to mess this up.
What's it, a 2?
I don't want to mess this up.
It's had a hard day.
He's had a rough...
No.
He's had a rough
Several.
life,
I
actually.
don't want to. I shouldn't have said I don't want to mess this up
gotta
before
believe in
throwing it.
yourself.
Where was it?
He's had a rough recent memory.
I'm going through all my notes because
Hard to see who gave you that.
going through all my notes and I'm like, oh no, I didn't do anything the last day, and then now I can't even read a book. So thank you, Magical Pony 18. I tried really hard.
The magical pony will carry us to victory.
That's a little bit better.
Sully's face did not look promising on that one.
I don't know how you do it.
4 went up to a 6, so 6 plus 17 is a 23.
That's with a
26.
+3.
Plus 3 is 26.
Okay, cool. So you didn't critically fail. Good work.
Let's
Well,
go.
Let's go. We're gonna get this.
We're going to get both tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to crit and get a 2.
Now this is again a role representing an entire day's work as your ship now it's somewhat of a sideways cant lists its way down the Selin River with an entirely
This
separate
is what a cambered boat
parasitic
looks like.
dinghy attached to the front of it. It doesn't really sail straight anymore. The hull doesn't do the thing that it's supposed to do, keep the ship forward. It's sort of sidewaysy and not great. Get some strange looks from other passing vessels as you make your way down. Some sympathetic, some bemused. But throughout this day, there would be a decent amount of time in which you would be able to interact with some of your new friends that are here on the ship. At some point, you're keeping an eye out on this group. The dwarf you see definitely never really lets his guard down. I know you're not focusing on him as much, but he is pretty much always doing the same thing. Looking around the crew, keeping an eye on the group of you mostly in the cabin, having, realized that clearly you guys are the actual threat here, having fought you already. Whereas the two hobgoblins, Daldron and his pirate buddy, mostly kind of just keep to themselves and discuss things. The half-elf, the assassin that you're watching, moves about a bit more. She's usually by herself, kind of detached from the rest of the group. She does stop in and meet with them pretty frequently throughout the day, but she spends much of her time literally seeming like she's trying to put herself physically as far away from anybody else as possible. Like she is the just queen of social distancing at the far side of the deck. What?
Said it froze. I was looking at.
Oh, okay. Well, that probably didn't freeze. This probably froze.
Yeah, I was seeing if it was the camera or that.
Yeah, I don't think we've had the camera freeze before. Because, well, we had that one camera, but that also wasn't the
That's
camera. That was
why
still
I
the
was
feed.
looking at
Well, that was still the feed. Though. The cameras themselves always go. Just like if the connection gets jiggled a little bit, it'll freeze in OBS till it restarted. Anyway, as you...
Rare Arcadis moment.
I'm just more worried about the fact that you said no audio. I don't know how on earth that could possibly happen because... Okay, this has literally nothing to do with the camera. It's a completely independent system. This is not attached
I know
to
that
the
this is
camera
very
at all.
helpful, but you might be muted.
Oh, we've had the lens cap on the whole
Oh
time.
no! Okay, if we have audio,
Rookie mistake.
If we have audio, I'll
Captain.
keep going then. We're good. We're good. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't
Captain
audio.
Silverbeard.
No
Another
audio
pirate.
would be bad.
There's another captain.
We would be doing nothing if there was no audio. Anyway,
Spider-Man pose of three captains.
She's trying to stand in the
watching
corner of the
her
bar.
move around and watching her just kind of look across the crew, similar to the dwarven fighter, but she looks less like she's expecting a fight to break out at any moment. That dwarf looks like he's ready to pull his sword back out at a drop of a hat. He is ready to go. He does not trust any of you. She's just kind of like watching, observing around, a somewhat dismissive look on her face. She doesn't seem to be amused or impressed by anything she's seeing. But eventually, as you watch over her, you would, just by the nature of watching someone who is right there and also looking across the group, end up making eye contact a couple of times. Until finally, as you look up from your research, you would see her standing right in the door frame, just looking down at you in the cabin. What?
A curious bunch of pirates, aren't you?
Are any different from normal?
Suppose I don't really know what normal is. I guess not.
And she would leave.
I blew it.
Oh my, yeah! You did!
I froze. I'm sorry.
Back to wander
Oh
about
my
the
gosh.
deck.
I haven't met many nice assassin women
I don't
lately.
think I've ever seen Sully more disappointed.
It's okay. You get her next time, bub.
Oh,
I was gonna go
Look
fishing,
how
I guess.
sad you made Sully.
we're talking during the break.
There will be no knife prints on this boat.
No, gosh.
Trey. Deldron, while he was told to stay out of the cabin, seems
He
to,
doesn't listen.
you know,
It's like Trey.
test the limits of that. sometimes.
Just put one
He
toe
doesn't-
in.
Almost in what seems an intentional rebuke to Skywind's authority, would stand around in the doorway, a couple of steps inside, almost literally like a child that has been told not to do something by their parents and finding exactly how far they can, in fact, do that thing
How old
before
are-
they actually get punished.
How old are hobgoblins when they hit adulthood? Like
Not very.
12?
They are not a long-lived species, hobgoblins. If he went on the 20-year magical journey that Marius had been on, he would be an old man, Trey would. They are... Goblinoid races in general are just not very long-lived. I want to say in first editions, goblins died of old age at like 40. Like,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they did not live very long.
Easy life.
Easy life.
Easy life.
That's
But-
why they're so prolific, though.
Like rats.
That's why elves have a hard time conceiving, is because they live forever, and if they didn't, then they'd just be everywhere. And then goblins die really young.
Remind me of this tangent for the post show later. But Daldron, occasionally looking across what you're doing, poring over these books, strange treatises, esoteric leather-bound tomes, documents from other planes, cameras restarting. Oh, this is
That's
really
the twinkle
screwed
when
up.
you open a book.
It's,
That's
the
the
sound,
sound
of a
of
book opening.
Cammy's
I don't think it
magic.
hit the microphone, but still.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. Our GM's still alive. He
You-
was-
You just sit around and read?
There's a lot more to it than just reading.
It doesn't look like it.
I'm going to point at like the 4 other books that are open and laid out.
I'm currently cross-referencing all 4 of these books at the same time to figure out where a hag lives in another reality so I can go and steal her pocket stone. I know. I know. Because if I get all these,
And I'm going to hold up the magic grocery list.
if I get the magic grocery list and I get all these items and I go take them to a man in Napland, easiest way I can explain it. We go to sleep, we give him these, he gives us our memories back. That's it.
He just kind of holds out his hand when you hold up the list
Sure.
and just takes it.
It's not like we don't have it written down in 15 different
I
places
think
by
every
now.
single one of us have a
I
copy.
don't.
That is your copy.
Yeah, that's my copy.
You don't have a copy anymore.
No, you don't anymore.
A
Marcus.
signet ring sounds valuable. I can see the value in chasing down something like that. That's probably worth something.
Well, the problem is the guy doesn't want them for their value. He wants them just because he wants them. Think of him like a weird collector.
A webbed foot.
Yeah. Yep.
So these are valuable.
To him.
Huh.
You see him step back and look up towards the helm where Skywing is.
No, I tried. It doesn't count.
What if you bought one for her?
I said the same thing. Said the exact same thing.
He's chill.
According to the books, it doesn't count.
You see him kind of just mouthing all the words on this list to himself. Just confused beyond reason, as he would understandably be, given the strange list of items including a Viscount's signet ring, a cat's tail, a green stone idol of a water lizard.
Skull of a
And
Ghoul
just-
King.
Hands it back to you.
It's a lot more than just reading.
So I can see. So, have you found any of these things yet?
3 of them.
Huh. And so when you get all of them, what, this is some kind of magic?
Yeah.
This guy's gonna do... This sounds like magic.
Yes. Lots of magic involved.
Huh.
Basically,
That's what the little girl is for.
Yes. Basically, we take all this and we
Cammy,
give
you
it,
are right here. This is in the doorway of the cabin.
and we give it to this weird.
I have a gun.
She does actually have a gun.
She really does have a gun.
She really does have
Did
a
you
gun.
pull it out because you did this, or does Cammy actually
Yeah.
just do this
I
motion?
pull it out and I look at him and I go.
That thing even real?
Doesn't even look like it get through my shirt.
It makes a loud noise.
I cock it.
He just kind of stands up. Go on, do it.
No,
I
do it.
Do
You
it.
literally.
He's asking.
I've
for
seen
it.
you use this thing.
Come on.
He consented.
Just
Shoot me.
Do it.
Don't miss.
You're sure about
Go for it.
I think.
Why are you the one that's scared?
Oh, okay then. I'm gonna go right up. I'm gonna press it to his belly. I'm not
And
missing.
He's got a huge grin on his face.
Not missing. It's against his belly,
Okay.
so I don't have to roll.
You can just roll me damage for a crit,
that's
actually.
exactly right.
Damage for a crit.
Well, it could be 8.
Do you know what a crit is for the pistol?
No, I never shoot it.
It is deadly, I believe, D8.
I think it's deadly D8.
So it's a D4 plus a D8, and you double the D4.
Do I add
It's not
a
fatal?
modifier?
It's a sad
It
little.
says
It's
fatal.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
then it's fatal, not
it's
deadly.
Not
Yeah.
D4. It's
So you're rolling
2d8.
2d8, and you double one of them.
So keep in mind which one you're doubling.
The highest numbered one, obviously.
Okay, so that's 8 plus 2, 10.
10. This gun fires. You all hear
Gun.
the gunshot. The crew on the deck jumps. The dwarf immediately draws his sword and like takes a step kind of reactively. The other hobgoblin just laughs. And Daldron, oh, by the gods. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, it's
Look!
it's not very
He
deadly.
pulls open his shirt.
It's a gun!
He pulls open his shirt to show this bleeding hole where the bullet has burrowed into his abdomen, and he's just grinning down at it. He's got a bullet hole in him.
That's
The
easy
bullet
to see
doesn't look like it's strong enough to have gone all the way through him. It's in there somewhere. And he literally takes a finger and starts fishing around in the hole. I can feel it. It's like a little pebble. Oh.
Oh, actually, Daldron, question for you.
Right. Well, hold on. I have something for you.
Pulls out the bullet. It's a card.
And he pulls out a hero point
Oh
for
my
MD.
gosh.
Wait, hold on. I got another one.
I think your son's a magician.
Whoa!
That's some sleight of hand right
Another
there.
bullet in
Tempest
there the
and
whole time.
Scott.
Yeah,
My
Jaded
friend- they're
Tempest
upside
and
down.
Scott with a pair of hero points for MD.
Thank you. It's grazing blow, by the way. Wasn't a grazing blow.
That was not a great
And tuck and roll. He did not tuck and roll.
Did neither of those apply to the situation that just happened. Anyway. Ugh.
Can you do this thing that I realized I can do recently?
And I'll focus in on myself because I'm still a little injured from earlier, and just that like heat will radiate off of me as I heal for 4d6.
And he's got his hand over the wound, and you can see blood kind of running through his fingers. One of his index finger just soaked, where he kind of poked it around in the hole, trying to get the bullet.
I'll get 17.
You guys are freaks.
They're related, 100%.
He kind of
Bonding.
grits his teeth. He grits his teeth, like he's trying to push a particularly difficult day at the latrine. Yeah, there it is. And the bullet is in his hand.
No, thanks.
But he takes it anyway.
Reload.
Oh, little pellet. Kind of tickled, actually. Not as much as it hurt. You don't try to have her defend herself with that thing, do you?
Didn't
But that's
know-
gonna stop a house cat.
I didn't know
Just
she
get
had
angry.
it. She pulled it out and just fired it one day.
You just found the thing. You are a damn gnome.
Shoot him again.
Kimmy's like beside herself. She's like without words. She's just huffing and puffing.
We're going to take our midstream break a little bit early because we're obviously having, technical difficulties, as you can see. Significantly more severe technical difficulties than we normally do. So, we're gonna try to fix that while we take our midstream break here. So, feel free to stand up, stretch your legs, grab some snacks, some drinks, hit the bathroom. It's going to be about 10 minutes of our break time here, and hopefully when we come back, we'll have 3 cameras instead of 2 cameras and a weird hole. Be right back, everybody.
Wave, AJ. Wave at them.
Why?
They'll know.
It's
Well,
a matter
no.
of principle.
We fixed it, which is going to be really funny if it's broken again. But we fixed it. I'm going to look now.
better.
We fixed it.
Yes.
Pretty sure, just as a really brief cliff note, that one of the USB port that camera was connected to just straight up died. So
That's awesome.
unfortunate because we're kind of using all of those. So goodbye to table cam for today.
Your noble sacrifice.
You will not be forgotten, but you are less important than
never
the rest
forget
of the cameras that are on basically all of the time.
Can you see?
Unfortunate. Yeah, but we...
Can
Arcadis.
you
fixed
play
it.
tabs?
None of the rest of us did anything. But welcome
Where's
back,
the bagpipes?
everybody. I like how we do this bit immediately after the 4th of July. It's actually like really thematically appropriate.
The day passed.
Fake American!
Oh yeah, of all the people.
Don't show up to the party in white
Hey,
and blue.
Cammy pulled out a gun in this episode. She's thinking the most American.
This is the 4th of July episode, everybody. Cammy pulled out a gun and then shot her friend.
Not her
Shot a
friend.
stranger.
Shot her friend's son.
Shot her friend's son.
I shot my friend's kid.
Friends, kind of.
So,
Was-
Oh yeah,
yeah,
basically.
friends with an asterisk for some reason.
Basically friends.
We
caught
need to
that.
go back on that.
I don't know.
An
Welcome back,
elephant never
everybody.
forgets.
let's go around the table before I forget and briefly reintroduce our party. Look, I'm doing it. Start over there this time.
Hi, I'm Marcus. I play Marius, the Ghoul Dwarf Ranger, who does have a -1 charisma.
-1 charisma.
He does actually have a -1 charisma.
Oh my gosh.
Dwarf. He's just role playing, guys. He's playing the character.
I'm very committed.
Oh,
You're very good.
No!
Incredibly convincing. I'm Colby. I play MD, our full-blooded orc rogue who has a +1 charisma.
Wait, where's your -1?
I have no negatives, actually. I have a 0 int, and that's the lowest I
He
got.
has no downsides. He is the perfect specimen.
I have a lot of downsides.
We have the exact same charisma.
As who?
We.
Oh, we.
You and I.
I
Speaking
thought
of
you
we.
said you.
Me.
Who am we?
Me.
We
have-
am I. Currently, I am the -1 wisdom of the party. Hello, I'm Derp.
Yeah, that tracks.
I'm Sully. I play Cammy, the itty bitty gnomish wizard.
Where's
What's your
-1?
-1?
Say it.
Say it.
Say it.
No, I don't see one.
What's your
Yeah.
-1,
I
Cammy?
don't, I'm number blind.
Cammy, what's your...
Wow.
I'm modifier sure blind. I believe
Everything's
that.
absolute
Cammy,
value.
what stat
I
do you have a
believe in the
-1 in?
indomitable spirit of.
Of your -1 strength.
I'm Kevin. I play EZ, just an average human bard with average strength and average intelligence.
Wait, is your -1 in con?
He doesn't have a -1. He
Hey!
just has 2 zeros.
Yeah.
Perfect. I started with 2 zeros.
You've become better. You've
I've-
improved yourself.
Yeah, one of them was wisdom.
Ooh, you don't like having that one. I
No.
appreciate the commitment to the bit that is the -1
I am
wisdom.
committed.
That will eventually be very funny. Actually, several times already. It's
Yeah,
very
incredibly funny.
Because your will save is like 5. And it's
It's a 13.
but he saves are like 30 at this point. Like, it's like
Well, no, because my fortitude's a 20.
Got will.
yeah, that's but your fortitude's thick.
My fortitude is right where it should be. My will is very bad, but eventually when we get apex items,
They're not
I can-
usually 30. They're like 26.
yeah,
or
I can
28 at this point,
compensate
I
for the
think.
-1 very well.
That's fair. As we. Whoa.
We heard a chunk. What was the
Whoa.
chunk? What was
Whoa.
it? What is it?
Roku-san.
I can't read.
I love the family reunion of Trey and his son. And of course, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of chaos for the party to enjoy. Usable when AJ feels like, of course. I have things.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
a wheel and a woe.
We get the good news first or the bad
There are
news?
Really,
two
whoa.
sides.
There's 3 doors in front of
Go.
Yes!
Go.
One's a
There's
good
spin-
door.
That
One-
conversation is the woe.
One has a spinning cow behind it. That's the one we're looking for.
As we left off,
Is that the good?
as we left off, admittedly somewhat abruptly, because our camera was fighting for its life against a USB port that was no longer receiving data. We were talking to Trey's son here in the doorway. I believe You were gonna ask something, and then I was like, "This is broke. We gotta go fix
Yes.
this."
I asked if he can do the thing.
Oh, he did the thing, and then he pushed
and
the
then
bullet out.
I did the thing just to show what it was, because I don't know it's called Cantorian Rejuvenation in
That's
character.
fair. He's got the bullet in his hand that just before the break, Cammy had shot into his stomach, that he has just kind of willed back out.
You know, it's interesting. It's not a normal hobgoblin thing. This isn't just part of us. I mean, Argash can't do it. Nothing similar. As far as I've seen, it's just us.
Interesting.
He kind of shakes the blood off his hand, just flicks it across the cabin haphazardly, wipes the rest of it on the side of his shirt. He doesn't care.
I didn't know what to think of it. I don't exactly know what it is, but it's been useful.
I've never seen you do it before. I didn't know this was something we both had. I thought this was just me.
That's something I figured out I could do recently. Suffering from frostbite. I know.
Where in the hell did you get frostbite in the Selin Passage?
In the dreams.
Your dreams are cold? I don't want to talk about that anymore.
It's complicated.
I found a New Zandalus. His name is Trey.
Look. I know we haven't exactly... No, we see eye to eye, let's say. But I did keep this.
And he reaches down and pulls his sleeve up, and there's a little... Well, it's almost like a charm bracelet wrapped around it. If all of the charms were weapons. Little daggers, swords, scimitars, hammers, spears, even a bow with a little quiver next to it.
And honestly, it saved my life more than a couple times. You did say you'd want it back if we ever ran into each other again, so here.
He undoes the clasp and just tosses it to you.
I got a bracelet.
Accessorize. You have a little bracelet with a bunch of little weapons dangling from it.
It's like one of the
No,
candy
I'll
bracelets.
take a look at it and then put it on.
I'm gonna miss the thing, but ever since I got this,
He kind of reaches back and pats the hilt of that strange hook-bladed sword across his back.
never been used as much recently anyway. But got me through some good scrapes.
I'm glad it was useful for you.
So, thanks, Dad, I guess, is what I'm going for.
You're welcome.
Anyway, enjoy your, words.
He turns and leaves you for the rest of your research.
So
I guess I'll take 10 minutes to
This-
figure out what that is.
Thing you have here, as you take it in your hand, it doesn't take quite that long, and I'm not actually going to make you roll for it, because in a wheel, oh man, I'm so glad this wheel gives me an excuse to give somebody this, because it's such a cool freaking item. This is on the list with the Hunter's Anthem, but I'm like, man, I have it in my mind that I really want to find a reason to give it to you, but I got to find a place for it. A wheel, part 1 of 2, from Oroku-san here. The other side of it's not going to be as fun. You
It's
have
cursed.
a little bracelet that you kind of remember here. This bracelet of bangles, you're not sure where you got, but you do remember having it years and years past, before Thrushmoor, before Malison, before the Stellai. Back when it was just you, your son, and the world. You were somewhere else, somewhere mountainous, somewhere colder. And that thing you remember giving to Daldron, explaining how it worked, what it did, how it would keep him safe. Then every one of those little weapons on the bangle is just as good, in fact, exponentially better than a weapon you could get down at the normal at any old smithy. You can pull one off, and in your hand, it will immediately flash into a full-sized weapon. One imbued with some pretty hefty magic. And boy howdy, there are a lot of charms on that bracelet. You could pull off damn near anything your heart desires. They are temporary, but every morning, all the charms seem to be back. The magic isn't tied to the little charms, but the bracelet itself. And it only works about once a day. Anything you pull off after that will just be a little metal charm, worthless, weak, and fragile. But the first one you pop off that bracelet, it's going to turn into a full-sized, very usable +2 striking weapon. For a bit.
See how it saves a life.
That gives me access to a little bit more versatility.
Gives you access to a pretty good amount of versatility. You can pull out a +2 striking anything.
Oh my gosh.
And just because I'll give you
+2 striking breaching pipes.
This is a Dark Souls build at this point, I think. I will give you, because you do remember this item as well, and it's part of a wheel, even more specifics. It's +2 striking for 1 minute, and then it will just become a normal +1 weapon until the next time you pull off a charm. The next time you pull off a charm, it will just kind of wither away to nothing. Dust. But that's that thing. And as one ends, another begins. And along with it, a get out of jail free coin for easy.
Yay.
From Jaded Tempest. There you go. That night, you all sleep in your cabin as normal. The crew, we hesitate to say, of Daldron's little dinghy mostly climb back down to their little ship. Is not really, like, it's just a little boarding jetty. It doesn't have a cabin. They got one little sail. It's like what is that, a schooner? It's pathetic.
I just like that word. I'm just repeating it, schooner. It's fun.
I thought you said something.
I wasn't being
Sorry, I thought you said something useful.
I wasn't being helpful at all.
Okay.
I was like, that's a fun word.
That's a good one.
But it does at least have enough space that they can just kind of curl up. They don't have any supplies. They don't have any other clothes with them. They weren't exactly prepared for a week-long voyage on the river. They'd kind of planned, it seems, on, robbing you and then, having your ship and your things. Would have had the same problem, but they would have had stuff. Daldron, however, if he sleeps, it's not obvious. There is some skeleton crew rotating shift for night. The Sullen Starling does not drop anchor and simply sit in the river at night. Skywind has a helmsman that keeps the ship on tack, and a couple of folk to make sure it's still underway. It does slow. The sails are mostly brought in because there's less manpower on the deck should something be needed to go wrong. And if any of you do poke your heads out in the night, every time you'd see Daldron just kind of mulling around, that big grin on his face, just looking out over the water or just watching sailors go about their work. The following morning,
I was going to say Marius was definitely up a little bit longer, just kind of beating himself up, thinking about what he could have said better.
This is your chance. Go,
Think about it.
sitting there replaying the conversation to himself in the shower, like,
What conversation?
oh,
Sully has never been more disappointed.
wow!
You can do better, Marcus.
Never.
She is like drawing blood.
He is mad.
Remind me of this for the post show. I have a relevant story
Jeez.
about characters.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen Sully this upset.
I know he can do better.
Not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I am too.
A new day. A new opportunity to finish not one, but two researches you seem to have made a pretty large amount of headway on. And another opportunity to sit down briefly with Reese.
School that
ready.
might hurt me.
School that might hurt
School.
me.
Regular school.
It's just school.
Regular school.
We'll start briefly here with Cammy because
Yeah.
yours is fairly quick.
Okay.
Whee.
5 on the die. So that's going to be 24.
Don't quite succeed on
Today's
5.
subject.
If you don't, well, I mean, by the transitive
Critically
property, you
succeed,
didn't crit on
yeah.
a 15, so you're not going to regularly succeed on a 5.
Yeah.
Because that's how degrees of success work.
Today's subject was magical mathematics. It's very tough.
After yesterday's
Don't touch my brain like that again.
after yesterday's incident,
Bit
Reese's
nervous.
very reserved today. She is not a woman that you've known to fear much. But this is different for her. This is something that really, really bothered her, this experience. And it's hard to even get her to engage with anything, even the little telekinesis she'd already been using. And she kind of brushed it away. She isn't stupid. She's aware that this is regression. And she just shakes her head. It's not. This guy was right, you know. She's no fool. Keeping the rest of them here with us is dangerous. You've seen what they're capable of. We sleep. I didn't last night, not much. And, that's why none of this is. I don't feel like I'm going to make very much progress today.
It's just house guests. I mean,
It's house guests that had a decently good shot of bringing us down when we were ready for them. If they were to set upon us while most of us were sleeping, I don't know how to fight we win. We're putting
mean,
a lot of
that's-
value in today's relationship.
I mean that's true. Yeah. I don't know. His son seems kind of freaky.
Meanwhile, in books,
Bookland.
we have.
Hearthstone.
I gave you your get out of jail free card easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, we also have a point for Trey, as he has none. And I
Let's
support
go.
families getting back together.
I'm gonna-
Hiroka-san.
I'm gonna need this
Dads and
immediately.
sons.
I can
Dads and
feel it.
sons.
All right.
Catch
so
your
who-
breath.
Colby's assisting?
I'm assisting.
Assist.
Diplomacy.
I'm assuming you're doing the same split, unless someone says you're doing
Yeah.
something different.
We're
I
on the
got a
cusp.
13 on the die for a 29 total.
+1.
He's assisting diplomacy.
Right.
Okay.
That's better.
It's better. 10 plus 17, 27. Plus 1, 28.
Oh,
You had a
no.
27 yesterday.
I know because the 3.
This
We've hit a wall.
Indeed.
this is kind of a wall.
Re-roll it.
It is. The
Anybody-
Greenstone Idol, every bit of information you learn about it is just a bit. Like the dichotomy is obvious between the research on the Heartstone and the research on this water lizard. One, you find the name that leads to a literal registry with that name on it, an occupational record, a city, its history. It's a chain. It's somewhat complicated to follow. It's esoteric. The information's not as great as if you're researching like bread making techniques, but you know, everything is there. You just have to find it and put it together. This, you get a tiny tidbit of knowledge. You learn something. You learn about this representation of Bokrug. You learn about the city of Ib. You learn about the warship they had. You learned about the humans who had just destroyed them because they were weird. But every one of these is just a complete isolated factoid. It doesn't lead anywhere. There's no train. There's no consistency. You're just hoping that if you collect enough bits, you'll recognize this passage phrase when you find it. But it doesn't critically fail. So you're not getting worse.
Hearthstone. Hearthstone.
Heartstone. Marius, give us your assistance.
Another 10 for another 24.
Another +1.
Not an at 20.
Not another 20.
So that will be. It's a 28. I'm
That's
re-rolling it.
the DC. Don't re-roll it. Keep your hero
He already
point.
said it.
No, I thought I got a 28 before and I failed. It was a 27.
Says it's good.
Oh, was it 27?
No, that's a 28. I said I thought a 28 failed. That was his.
27 failed.
Yeah, no.
It failed Green's idol by a bunch, actually, but 28 is, we did it. We're playing Find the DC, everyone's favorite game. 1d8. I will tell you, it's physically possible that you could end it with this.
He's gonna
Come
roll
on.
an 8. He's gonna roll an
He's
8.
gonna
Come on.
Above average. Below average.
How do you do that?
I knew I should have said on 1.
Can I re-roll a D8?
You had 12 points of progress, and now you have 13
Yeah.
points of progress.
That's how much we needed, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Said it was possible.
don't even want to humor that.
What a day.
I'm succeeding every time. I'm just incredibly low rolling them.
When our time
Yeah, the
comes.
damage,
I mean,
the
progress
damage that
was
you're getting
made.
on the research, on the knowledge, but the KP going down here is kind of comical how badly you've rolled. You should absolutely, with 2 crits and 2 successes, you 100% should have finished it.
Yeah. I'm making progress.
But
He's not understanding all of the words.
There's a lot of
another
big
day
words.
in the book.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I got it.
It's a pun. Do the thing. He's
got-
not going to do the thing. He won't give me the satisfaction. It's
He says
okay.
it's another day in the books. Because we spent a day in books.
Because we're
Oh,
researching.
yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
He did it! This is why you watch us. This is the show you chose to spend
Is it
your
a
time
pun
watching.
or-
Well,
What we're doing? What do you mean it's a pun?
What do you?
What's the word
Another
play?
day in the book.
Another day in the books. Have you ever heard that saying?
I don't. But a pun would be like a word play. Another day in the books is just literally what has happened.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the
why it's a
pun.
Because the
Not
pun.
a pun.
it's
Is
a
that
word
pun?
play.
It's an anti-joke.
Well, it's
No.
It is a pun.
Is it a
because
pun or a
Post show.
statement of
Post
truth?
show. Post show. It's a pun.
You're going to break poor Sully. Between this
I
and
need to
that.
make a list of notes for the things we're supposed to
Look,
bring
the
back
real
up in the
shame
post
is
show.
that we are very short on dad jokes for this episode. Like, this is the episode where we should be
It's
maxing.
a crime.
You had your opportunity for
I'm
dad
trying.
He's not the dad.
He's not the
You
father.
are not the father. This is what you choose to spend your time watching. I hope you enjoy it. Anyway,
Anyways,
Back to
next
the
day.
dream.
More dice.
another day's rest, and after another day of having Daldron and Co. around the ship and no apparent problems being caused, maybe it's not the worst idea in the world. They haven't done anything other than Daldron walking around like a weirdo. They sleep in their own ship away from you, covered as they can with their cloaks, but they're not causing any problems. I mean, they're taking a little bit more of your supplies, obviously. They didn't exactly bring their own food, and
freeloaders.
this guy would really like to just dump them in the water and be done with it. If we're
Same.
bringing them, they'll be fed, they'll have water, they'll be taken care of. At least enough to remain alive. And another day on the water. Let's get our check with Reese real quick.
Here we go.
Cammy,
That's
just
me.
continuing to work on this magic.
Stretched you. 13.
That's
on the
way
die.
better than a
Probably.
5.
Far better.
Probably a success.
So what is that? 23, and then 32.
That's 2 less than the 15.
Absolutely succeeds. Our pair that are working on the Greenstone Idol. My fine fellows.
Idle. Idle. Idle.
13 on the die for a 29 total.
Plus one. Plus
Again.
one.
Plus 1. Plus 1. Plus 1.
18!
Yeah.
Progress.
Plus 17 is
35.
35.
Plus one.
Come on.
Plus 1 is
36.
36.
36. It's not even close to critically succeeding. If
But
that's what
I-
you
But
asked
it
for.
succeeded.
But it does
Not even
succeed.
close.
Not even.
It's, no. Close. Not close. But
Not
it,
even close.
it does succeed. This research is much harder than the
I was
Ambassador's
gonna say,
Hearthstone.
where
That's
is
why
this-
I'm doing the Hearthstone.
Where's this on the list? What do you mean not even close?
It is above the Hearthstone on the list, but. that
Give
was
me a
a
D8, good
A
sir.
D8.
I don't feel awesome about that.
I don't either.
8.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 7.
See, I told you when we get our breakthrough,
yeah.
get through that wall.
We missed, but we hit.
Okay. So you've heard about these strange alien creatures in the city of Ib, researching the image of Bokrug and what little there is known about him. You had heard the origins of this green stone idol, that it is an icon of worship. You had heard about the destruction of Ib, as it was razed to the ground by very warlike humans. residing in the dream who just didn't agree with the aliens' strange rites, their forms. And today, you have learned from where those humans hail. A city called Sarnath.
I don't know how to spell
Hopefully-
that one.
Finding a name here will give you something to follow tomorrow. There was no immediate obvious thread. But other than Bokrug at the beginning of this line, finding out what this idol was, what it even represented, this is the first, well, I guess Ib as well. Maybe there is a chain here. It's just difficult to follow. Spread bits of information, one book to another, with no real connecting thread, no links other than just raw time dedicated to just digging through every one of these tomes, trying to find anything that you can use to connect these together. Hearthstone, boys.
14 for 28.
+1.
I will re-roll that 11.
He's gonna believe. He's learning.
No, 13.
He's fishing.
That's a 15. That succeeds. I get a D8.
D8!
Roll
It's
a
now
one.
more
on.
likely.
Roll a 1.
That's a 2.
You don't listen, do you?
It's getting
Wow.
better.
Hey, that does actually hit a threshold, so you learn stuff.
Yeah.
So like, hey, it's not you both teams hit a threshold today.
Look
at this.
I'm planning this out so we get both on the same day.
They'll have choices. You
Yeah.
get to pick where in the dream you want to go.
Neither.
That'd be fancy.
Both teams with a breakthrough. I like the word breakthrough better than thresholds because it feels like you did something rather than it's a game mechanic that has been achieved.
Threshold reminds me of Thrushmoor, and that's not good memories.
Some of them are.
For you
Trey
too.
has them all.
Yeah.
Not for
That's
me.
Some of them are, and they are all his.
That's not fair.
I have one.
Easy had
yeah,
some
no,
great
you're
memories.
right. That's not fair.
I
Easy
had.
had some great
He
memories.
made some good.
I think the only good memory I had is
Hold
of
on.
Easy
We had one
being
day.
insufferable.
We had one good memory.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
were,
we like
under the
discounting
tree.
Reese.
No, that was
Wasn't that under the tree doing drugs?
It was. Was it?
talking about?
It was talking about eclairs, and
Yeah,
then
was
talk
time.
about it.
And
then
I-
other
You're the
stuff.
smart one. I'm the
and
dumb
then
one.
you're the stupid one. That was the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Your only good
Hard.
memory wasn't even had by you.
The takeaway was, I guess we knew each other before.
Yeah.
So, knowing now that Quaviandra is a known quantity, this is something you
murdered a
can just
woman.
continue perusing. If she is well known enough to be on this registry theoretically there is more than one copy of that Count Lowls has, she is someone that people in Dilath Lane would reach out to or would be familiar with. Surely, now the goal is to find cross-referencing information, other mentions, encounters with this Quaviandra. Stories of Dilath Lane, something that will put you on the trail to where Lowls eventually ended up, or whoever was helping him do this, which is very likely just you again, with refining this ritual to the point where he could complete it successfully. And you find something. You find a diary. You weren't sure why it was included before. You flipped through it a few times. There was little in there. And you realized only today it's not by name the Quaviandra is mentioned, but an excerpt of this is talking about her. You learn that although whether or not this is accurate is kind of up in the air, the entire diary seems to be kept by a very spiteful person who does little more than just record biting rumors about everyone for you're not sure if blackmail or just their own enjoyment.
Fair.
But they describe Quaviandra as having an unnecessarily large retinue of retainers. A cloud of servants orbiting her basically at all times. And that she has, in their words, an insufferably imperious manner.
So it's insufferable.
There was also a little sketch,
Just a tiny little sketch.
and you recognize her. Very briefly. When you guys first went to the Dreamlands, when you first successfully performed this ritual, you arrived in a caravanserai amidst the desert sands of the dream, abandoned and by near everyone but specters of the past. Many of those specters that you encountered were in one room, in that meeting chamber in the back where you found the decanter. And in that blur of activity, that flash of figures that you had briefly seen as that madness set upon you, you saw her briefly for a moment. She had been there before. Both teams here feel like you are very close. You're very close to figuring out how to arrive at a theoretical location of the Screenstone Idol and how to find Quaviandra. You just need that last little push.
I believe in us. We're going to get 2 for 1. 2 in 1 day.
Boop.
And then we're going to somehow fail to do the ritual.
Or we get a
Oh,
woe and then we
gosh.
lose progress and then.
AJ forgot about the woe.
Oh no, I did not forget
No, I
about the
don't
woe.
think he did.
No.
No, the woe is tomorrow.
Woe was
I
me.
will. We will get there. Don't
We
worry.
woo.
We will.
We will get.
We will. We
We
will
will.
get there.
We will.
We will get there.
Next
And
day.
as the day progresses, the magic between the ritual between me and Kami has faded, so that is worn out. I have my own little tracker of days.
Ooh, you're counting them too.
Yeah.
That night, while you're all sleeping, everybody roll me a perception check.
Oh no. As soon as AJ was saying it's probably chill with the
We
people on board, I was
will.
like, no, it's not.
31.
It makes sense.
Okay. Wait.
31.
Hey, man. Up top.
This
You
is
can't
not
do-
sarcastic. So what do you get?
1.
What? Yeah. Three of you rolled ones.
I'm not gonna high five you. You rolled a 14.
Hey, there's a song about
I got
this.
a 32.
Okay,
1,
31
1, 1, 31, 32.
17 total.
It took all our rolls.
I was sleeping.
17 total. I rolled a 17.
Yeah.
3 of you rolled on that one. Okay.
I still got my eyes open, kind of looking around for reasons.
Listen, all that research really took it out of us.
Marius,
Like, you know the feeling like when you've been working on a college project and it hasn't been making sense, and all of a sudden like it dawns on you, and you're so relieved you pass out immediately. That's what happened.
Gosh.
I don't, but I could kind of understand the concept of the feeling.
Yeah.
But Marius, as you're all sleeping that night, you would find yourself not so much jolted awake, but disturbed by something. It's very slight. Maybe you're just a really light sleeper. Maybe you're just on edge. Maybe ghouls don't really sleep the same way that everyone else does. But as you just kind of open your eyes a little bit, they just roll over and pass right back out. In the darkness of the cabin, doesn't bother you. You see movement. You see a figure hunched over, drawn about in a cloak, about completely silently looking through the pouch next to your bed, your pack, your things, right next to where your bow is laying and right next to, well, everyone else's business.
I imagine I would probably still have my dagger very close to me.
Sure, you see, I mean, so a dwarf sleeping with his clan dagger is the most reasonable thing I've ever heard. Yes.
I think I would try to, like, as silently as possible, just, like, grab it and quickly, like, put it up to them.
And you pull it out quickly, just that gentle sound of metal sliding out of a sheath. And the figure, reactively, immediately looks up right as you put the dagger out. And you look into the face of that half-elven assassin.
Round 2, baby.
And she just looks at you. Her hand's still on your back. Well,
What are you doing?
what does it it look like I'm doing?
Looks like you're going through my stuff.
Astute.
Why? What are you... You trying to rob us? You gonna make a quick run for it, pirate?
You and the rest of Oglam's friends seem to be on a very interesting journey. You may have occurred some interesting things.
So that's
We've had a good time. Yeah, we've found some items of interest, but I don't think we'd appreciate being robbed. I don't think they would take it very well if they found out.
Most don't. So, what do you plan to do? You haven't yelled for help yet.
Can I see if everybody else's things appear to have been disturbed yet?
He could sheath his clan dagger.
Looking around the room,
He couldn't hold it.
you just glancing at the rest of the packs near the bunks where everyone else is very well sound asleep. You can't, it doesn't look like it, but where you are in the room, it would, if she came to you first, it was targeted. She would literally have to go through a couple of other, like go past a couple of other bunks to get there. So whether she just, if she didn't plan on being caught, it would be sensible to make it look like nothing was wrong. But not that you see.
Well, if nothing's been taken yet, then there's no reason to cause a scene if you just leave.
Well, fortunately, I've yet to find anything worth taking.
Can I get a sense if she's telling the truth?
You may be a perception check.
A 19 for 37.
The 37. You guys are not poor. You have a pretty good amount of money in some of your bags, as well as an assortment of very clearly magical weapons and armor and items. You have a lot of wealth in here. Even just in your things. I mean, your bow is right there. It's clearly incredibly valuable. It looks otherworldly. But you get the feeling with that ridiculously high number, that is a critical success, that she is not only telling the truth. She's not just looking for things to fence. She was looking for something more specific and hasn't found it.
So,
Come here often.
So. No harm.
if you haven't found anything and you haven't taken anything, then you can leave and nothing has to happen.
She just nods slightly, looking down at the dagger you're still holding. Fine by me.
I'll pull it back a little bit.
She'll lean back and take her hands off of your bag and just kind of put them up in the classic show of surrender. And just slowly kind of inch back away from you. And her boots make absolutely no sound on the wood as she moves. Sliding back over towards the door to the cabin.
As she leaves, just for reasons, can I kind of mark her as prey?
Yeah, absolutely. I would be disappointed if you didn't, Ranger Man. And she slips through the door and back out of sight.
With that, I want to try to listen to see if Even as silently as she is, I want to try to listen to see if I can hear her moving away or if she still seems to be close to the cabin.
You move up to the door, and you listen, and as you kind of lean in expecting to try to hear desperately stranger footsteps or something, you hear voices just on the other side of the door. They're low. If you would not come over and like made an effort, you would not hear this.
Anything?
No.
Oh, are you even going to keep a foot or a signet ring or a tail? They said they had 3.
There's a pause there. I didn't see anything. I only got to check a few packs, though, before that dwarven one awoke. I have an idea, though.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think I might know something his friends don't. Then you would hear one set of footsteps casually walking away from the door. Do they know? That is said directly into the crack of the door at you. Do they know what you are?
Yes.
There's no sound after that.
I'm gonna stand there awkwardly for another minute or so thinking about what to do.
Just listening. You never hear another set of feet leave. But after a minute or so, she might just be that sneaky. And with that, there's really not much left but to head to bed. Yeah, I have a fun game. From a sane, as you head back to the bed, from the corner of your eye, a figure in yellow turns to you and says, "I told you I'd be back to watch over you, my heroes." They chuckle as they fade from sight. Why don't we let dice decide this one? Everybody roll me a d20. The same 221. I still got the pocketed one from Moroku-san, because I got plans.
I got a 3.
Hey!
Okay.
Hey, what'd you get?
2.
Hey!
Oh, we have a
Two?
tie.
Any ones?
10.
13.
Oh, you high rollers.
Really, okay. We're now if
Is
you're
it a
like doing a
roll-off?
class curve that puts us pretty.
What is it? A roll off between these two?
Why
Oh,
don't
it
MD
is, isn't
and
it?
Easy roll off with D4s?
D4s.
Fours?
It's a D4 of July.
No way.
Initial brothers.
Let him go again. Let him go.
You can both have it.
Hey, initial brothers.
We did it.
High five.
Not good.
It's not good,
We
but
studied too hard.
well, it's literally
fantastic.
college. This is literally
Because
just
if he
college.
breaks and he just rolls a 20, he doesn't die.
You can both have it.
Babe, no.
He tied twice. It seems fated at that point.
We're soulmates.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick. That's
Soulmates.
awful.
Not great.
Easy.
Worst person who could
You you haven't slept well in a while. Really? At this point, it's almost feels as bad as trying to sleep back in the asylum in Thrushmoor. You don't refresh in the night. You don't get less tired. Your body and mind don't take that time to recuperate. It's something you've almost started to fear. Just falling asleep normally with a terror that nearly always awaits you. You gain 3 stress in the night. And MD, you as well do feel a slowly growing toll from the events. You have only been aiding. The two of you have been working to research something that maybe there's not very much information on for a reason. You've already in this adventure heard one name that apparently simply repeating is dangerous and trying to follow in the footsteps of a very ill-advised train of research into the creature that is Bo Krug, takes its own toll. Something your mind has to sort through at night and can't really properly find a way to cope. You gain 3 stress as well. And miss fine woe from Hussein. But the morning comes. Good morning, everybody.
Good
It's a
morning.
beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I dreamed of Easy last night.
And I got stressed.
And I got stressed.
My man stresses me out.
That boy ain't right.
It's like a t-shirt. Like at a...
I went to bed and
Easy,
all I
all I
got
got
was stressed.
You have 2 lines of research
Books.
that are fairly close to well, very close. Not fairly. We're very close to completion.
Don't you worry, I'm about to mess it all up.
And in the morning, as you all awaken, as what is perhaps normal, no matter how early you awake, it always seems that Reese is there before you. Who amongst you would you say is the first to wake up in the morning? MD?
I think we've went over this
I'm not on
before.
that- I'm
We
not
went
in
over
on
this
it.
in the cabin.
I'd like to withdraw my name
Yeah.
from the conversation.
Yeah, MD's like last to fall asleep, first to wake up.
MD, as you would awake, you would see Reese down on one knee at the door to the cabin, looking very closely at something. And she'd turn and hear you get up, unless you're doing it particularly stealthily. Hey, come here a minute.
Okay.
We've never had the crew move through here after we settle in for the night, eh?
Not that I know of, no.
I know that because I've been checking it. And she reaches up to the handle of the door and unwinds what looks like a single blonde hair. It looks a little too short to be one of hers, but the color matches. Hold trick. Put one of these across the door every night, you know if it's been opened. I didn't hear it. And that's odd, because I don't sleep very heavily.
So you
Did you
think
hear anyone coming or go?
I was out like a light?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I've just been exerting myself too hard with this magic thing. Very clearly looking around the cabin. They're all here. Everyone seems fine. No one stopped breathing. Everything's where it should be. I don't know. Things happen, I suppose. Maybe that rock under the boat did it. Anyway, good morning.
Good morning.
And she would just get to her business. Marius, out of curiosity, when you wake up in the morning, what do you do? Is it anything? Is it a regular day?
I think I would do at least just a quick, like, make sure all my things are in my bag. Double check that.
You can tell immediately that very clearly someone had been going through it, but not haphazardly. Things had been very gently shifted and moved aside in what seems to be disturbed as little as possible. Looking in your bag cements it very clearly that she did not intend for anyone to be able to tell that anything had happened. Not unless something was missing entirely, and even then that might not be clear. But nothing seems to be missing from her pouch.
If nothing else is happening and nobody else is conversing in the cabin, I would probably continue with what I've been doing and fish for a little bit just to start the morning. Get a snack.
Just out fishing.
And
Yeah.
if our half elf was around, I would probably make eye contact, but in a glance, if
Nothing new.
we saw.
She is still out there, as is Daldron and his hobgoblin crewmate. The dwarf seemingly just sat down on the ship below now. After this many days, doesn't come up on the deck terribly often unless he just is bored enough to go want to talk to somebody to do something. The dwarf spends most of his time now down on their little jetty, just looking out over the water, waiting. not doing much of anything that you can really see. Whereas the other three are just still up on the deck, the two hobgoblins usually together, and the half-elf, again, seeming to kind of keep as much distance as she can from everyone. You notice that she does always seem to put herself in places where everybody's in front of her. She's never standing somewhere where her back is to anything, back is accessible, unless you were to clamber up the side of the ship behind her. What's that, Cammy?
I'm also always
That's something
behind
Cammy always
everybody.
does.
That's fair.
We're just alike.
You can be friends.
No.
Well, you and Reese can be friends anyway. Give me your occultism. No.
No.
Denied.
16 on the die. So what's that? 35?
Regular success.
Continued.
We're so
Reese
smart.
continues learning. I'm so smart. Who wants to go first? Hearthstone or Lizard?
Hearthstone.
Lizard's gone first last time.
Marius, get us in there.
Hearthstone.
Bring it home. Bring it home, boys.
Nice.
Another 10 for another 24.
Another +1.
Let's
on.
go. Nat 20.
Yes.
Roll 2 ones.
2 1 2
Please, no, will
1.
he make it on
Two,
Is it
one.
possible for
Failable.
him?
This
Oh.
is failable. 2d8.
Oh, you're fine. That's 13 or
Oh.
12.
You did it.
Yay.
I got there.
What did you say?
There
Oh,
it is. There it is.
It's 12, not 13.
12.
Okay, because 13 would have immediately completed it from the first check we did this session.
Yeah.
13 is how many points there were that you had left.
Oh, that's so funny.
We're good at this game.
We're so good at this.
But really,
Pro gamers.
the thread on the Hearthstone isn't really that hard to follow. A name to a place to a name to a face.
Hey.
And at the end of a day's research, you have discovered a new word that will change the focus of the Dreamlands ritual to send you to Dilathleen in search of Quaviandra and her Hearthstone.
Ostentatiousness.
Obstentation.
Ostentatious.
Losing the
Deviating for the
food
breakfast.
It's not breakfast anymore.
I don't. A hag might eat that. We don't know.
The hag eats obstentatiousness for breakfast.
I don't know what a hag eats.
Dream.
Dream
Ah,
obstentatiousness.
it's crazy in there.
Hey, you can scramble eggs and call it
Anything
ostentatious.
is
So,
possible.
You can call anything anything.
yeah.
The eggs aren't going to do anything to you.
Language is a
Fancy
made-up
French egg meals, your ostentatiousness.
Yep. Now, on the other side of the cabin, we have the final battle, perhaps, against the green stone idol of the water lizard. Two fellas that have been working very hard to get through a much more difficult avenue of research. It's got a way higher DC. It had a lot higher starting KP. It's much harder, but you're close. You're almost
We
there.
got this.
We got this.
We just matched last night's energy and roll the same dice number to make it really high.
Yes.
Just believe in yourself.
18. Roll an 18 on the die.
Ooh.
Out of the 34.
+3, baby. +3 from the critical aid.
Woe to be upon ye.
Why'd you say that? Don't say that.
Re-roll it.
I know, but just
I'm gonna cry.
be
Isn't
quiet.
it just-
How do you do that?
Thank you, Jaded
It's a 4.
Tempest.
If we have one to go into, you might as well keep your bid. We have a code
No,
word. It's fine.
do it.
Oh,
Do it.
Do it.
Have you talked to your dice recently? Like,
Do you guys know that you love them?
Don't
He,
let- don't
he
let
has
them
been
to
2
dirt.
sessions away from
You
us.
want to roll the Malachite?
Don't look
It
at-
put
don't look at
20s on
them.
the table.
Don't look at him.
Just stop talking.
Yeah?
18.
See, same number. Same number.
19!
18 plus 17. It's the same as last time. 35, 6. Wait, no, plus 3 is
Double
38.
win.
Yeah.
Regular success!
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Is he able to
Still
complete
not
it?
very close to critting. D.
Is he close to
8.
to
He
A
winning?
could-
20.
I mean, you guys were similar. You were both
Come on.
right there at the start of this one.
Yeah.
you didn't
Some
talk to
things-
that
Let's
one.
go.
Some things are written
It's fine.
in stone.
You know what's very funny is that's another breakthrough.
Are you?
You were 1 point away from another breakthrough.
Yeah, look,
did it.
we're doing it.
Yay.
We're so good at this. The humans that had raised Ib were from a city called Sarnath. And after they had leveled that alien city to the ground, the folk of Sarnath came home victorious, carrying with them a strange green idol that they had housed in one of their temples. But you learn that the idol had disappeared from Sarnath very shortly afterward.
Nice.
And there is no explanation you can find as to why.
Ostentatiousness.
Ostentatiousness.
You do have a word as this day passes. You do have a passphrase. Oops, that's not how tally marks work. This is supposed to be the crossy tally mark that goes
We need
across
to
the thing and
charge
says
up.
5. There we go. Riverton at this point is 2 more days away, if Daldron's estimations were to be correct, which Skywind seemed to agree with. Fortunately, she'd been planning on docking there anyway. It is the second of the 2 consistently safe ports on your way down through the river kingdoms. There aren't many that she wants to risk in these strange and unpredictable lands. So this kind of works out for everyone, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you want to attempt to go to the dream?
I don't see why not. It's not like anything's going to happen in the night while we're magically asleep.
So
Not that I know of.
Reese will still be here.
Reese thinks someone came into the cabin last night.
It's
Yeah,
entirely
what?
possible.
I mean, this is when I was going to bring up that.
I'm
the-
sorry.
Yeah, the half elf was snooping around.
Oh, so I do get to toss the half elf overboard.
I think
Whoa, no, wait a minute. We don't need to jump to any conclusions.
I think we get. I think we get to toss all of them overboard.
Wait,
Did somebody tell them about the things we've been looking for?
I told him right in front of all of us.
Yeah, Trey did. He told his son everything.
It sounded like they were trying to find them in our bags.
I didn't tell him the items aren't real.
your son is gonna think you're a stoner.
His son's gonna think he belongs in an asylum.
Well, when did you find out about this?
I caught her last night.
What time is it right now?
This would
Why
be
didn't you
evening.
say
This would be
any-
like the sun is setting.
Why didn't
I don't know.
you say
like,
anything?
MD woke up looking really stressed. I felt like it kind of, you know.
You didn't want to be a downer about a home intruder?
Well, gear up. We got some questions to go ask.
Okay.
Geared up. Got some questions.
Just putting on
Do
the
you guys
full
not
plate.
wear your armor during the day on the ship at this point?
Yeah,
So
but
you know,
it's,
just in
it's
case
funny.
Bored
It is
or something?
funny.
A whole montage.
It is-
of
Yeah,
doing
it's
things.
funny
It's
to
funny to
pretend
go-
we're doing the
That's-
montage
that's
of
fair.
gearing up.
Making it the donning armor montage is a good time.
It
Isn't
won't
that
fit
your
his hand.
gauntlet?
It won't fit his hand. It's a size 9 glove on the inside. I have really skinny fingies.
I get that
It'll
far.
fit Sully.
Sully.
It'll fit Sully and Kevin.
Armor the gnome.
I'm losing
Yeah, my hand gets caught in this.
Okay, I gotta keep it.
That's why you undo it.
Okay. I had to remember how to do
Did you just remind yourself how snapping works?
Well, when it's, your mind not used to them being this big.
This is
Listen.
why casting in first edition had hard checks when you're wearing heavier armor.
Yeah, if anyone was curious, this is why somatic components had a flat check.
Look, I just didn't want to distract from our research until it was a more
This is
timely
good.
issue.
Give me a dice.
You mean, can you get one yourself?
She can do it. She can do it. Let her focus.
Do it.
Let her focus.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't wear them.
It's a 2.
The reason I don't wear it.
I don't think I could roll it.
You just
I think I could.
Alrighty, so we're gearing up to go potentially fight.
Okay, so you get your weapons, your
Oh
armor.
my gosh.
Most of their crew is on the far end at the bow of the ship, getting ready to make the climb down onto their own vessel. Daldron and, ironically, the half-elven woman, the two that are. You trying to use the calculator?
Yes.
It's
You
more
gotta do
feasible than the
hello-
dice.
yeah.
The two that are still up on the deck.
Clank.
Guys. Guys.
Wait, why do you have 2 calculators?
We have business to attend
Why
to.
don't we have 3 calculators?
Because we only have one that we've been sharing, like friends.
Oh, there you go.
This was a mistake, Colby. We gave them too much power. We should not have given them a gauntlet.
It's cool though.
Oh gosh.
It's,
Have you tried this thing on?
I have not. I don't think my hand will fit.
One. I'm taking notes.
What I learned in medieval boating school is
Anyways, we're going to confront these people.
Okay.
As you head out onto the deck,
That's
are you
funny.
going out like? Do you have all your weapons and everything, or like, weapons in hand, like weapons drawn?
weapons in hand.
We just need to talk.
That's gonna be talking at the end of a spear.
It's your son.
I don't care.
He
I
is
don't
a-
remember him.
He is a hobgoblin.
Look, I don't think they actually took anything.
Wait, didn't they try
Anyways.
to?
Let's go.
Tried.
Tally-ho.
I do
Trey's
not
heading
understand
out.
your vibe
yeah,
right now.
Trey's heading out, spear in hand.
Sword drawn. Shield.
Sword drawn for MD. Cammy seems like she's super on
Going at
board
the
with this.
Blizzard unsheathed.
Holding him by the tail.
Lizard
up in
and
front of
gun.
you.
He's at the
Ready.
he's
Blizzard
at the
and
end,
gun.
Let me in.
he's doing
What
this.
are we playing?
with his
Gunfire
little-
Yeah,
Reborn?
yeah.
You hold him exactly like that. Easy there. And-
No, no, he's ready for violence.
Dad joke.
That's
No,
a pun.
That's a good dad joke. That's
That's
solid.
a dad joke.
Okay, that was solid. I gotta give it to you. I can't be mad. Marius,
really good. That was
ironically,
good.
the one that does not seem to want to jump straight to violence. Do you have your weapon out, or are you just kind of bow slung across your shoulder?
Yeah,
heading
I'd be
out?
just kind of on my back. I'm kind
Okay.
of. We can talk this out first. We can be civil.
The group of you head over across the deck towards Daldron and the assassin. And he turns, a perpetual grin still on his face. I don't quite think there's enough room on our deck for everyone, but you're welcome to try if you like.
Took you, what, 2 days to try and steal items that aren't even real? At least this one.
Aren't even real. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she couldn't find them. Because they're not real.
You didn't think I'm stupid to be shown a list of strange, magical whatevers that someone's apparently paying some incredible high price from and just assume I'm not gonna go looking for the things. I didn't know if I was gonna steal them. Just wanted to see them was all.
That's the problem, is they're not real. They're not here.
How?
And
I don't even know how to begin to question that.
The items are not in our bags. They're not here. I told you we went to the Dreamlands. That's
You know
what-
I don't know what that means.
It's a different place. That's where the items are.
It's like a bank. All right.
Basically.
Well, fair enough. No harm then, right? It's not like we took anything.
Nothing was taken. But if that one goes through the bags again, I'm breaking one of her ankles.
And she is just staring at Marius, and you see her eyes flit up to your head and then back down to your gaze.
I look down, kind of like shoot with my foot a little bit. And it's like, that doesn't do anything. Don't.
And Aldron's still just grinning. No worries. If I wanted to rob you, we just had the coin and been done with it. Besides, where are we gonna go? We're stuck here, right?
Just worth making sure that the point is clearly understood.
Fair enough. I wouldn't steal from me, old father. Well, not unless I really wanted it, of course.
I don't blame you.
Well then. Seems everything's in order here. I was just heading to bed.
Have a good night.
With a kind of sarcastic gesture, he turns to climb down to his own ship. First time you've really seen him do that, especially, definitely the first time you've seen him do it at night in a while. Whereas the half-elf just kind of flits her gaze across the group of you, watching everyone. And then just kind of looks back towards the cabin door. Well, Go ahead.
All right, at this point, I'll have already started turning around and walking away. More posturing than anything.
When Trey turns and starts to leave, she's just watching the group of you. She doesn't have any weapons in her hands or anything. She's just looking. What? Not fool enough to turn my back on the group of you weapons wrong. I've seen how you fight.
I'm not fool enough to let any of them turn their back on you without one of us watching you. I've seen how you fight.
Well, as you're plain to see, I've nowhere to back away to. If you wish to walk backwards all the way to your cabin, you're more than welcome.
Go back.
I just want to say something, and I just want you to know that I don't like you. And then I walk away.
Don't take her personally. She doesn't like a lot of people.
Well,
I kind of walk back a little bit and kind of wave and leave.
as you step back and leave just her and MD standing there, she just nods. Fair enough. And takes a step back onto the railing and then turns to climb back down to their own little deck. All 4 of them gathering back down there. The group of you head back into your cabin to reconvene.
So far, 100% of Strange Aeons romances have started with a knife against a neck in the middle of the night.
What part of this is romantic?
100% rate.
This is what we call shipping. It doesn't have to be romantic. It just in her mind doesn't make sense.
It's funny because
We're on a ship, yeah.
Why?
That's a pun, by the way.
As we get back to the cabin, do you want to perform?
I'm
Nope.
not comfortable now.
We're waiting 2 days.
We
We can do the rituals after they're gone.
if we wanted to, I was gonna say we could kind of situate ourselves to have someone.
Shifts.
Me and Trey will just take shifts.
I was gonna say one of us could just kind of, fall asleep in front of the door.
I don't want to impede traffic in and out. What if something happens and the good captain has to come rushing out?
Yeah, the fire marshal might come and give us an inspection.
We just take shifts. Me and Trey will be fine.
And
I
that
don't
is-
want you on the shifts.
You don't have to worry about him being on the shifts.
Well, I just want to. I honestly, I feel like we should be making a bigger fuss out of this.
He told us.
I'm bewildered.
I mean, he had a good reason for not telling us, I guess, in his mind.
I mean, I told you it was just not immediately.
Did she take anything?
No.
Did she try to hurt any of us?
No.
Okay.
I just didn't.
Because she got caught.
When did she get caught?
I just didn't see the need for. We're at a what's the right word? We're at a stalemate. We're not fighting right now. We can keep the peace. And I didn't want us to just jump to violence if I told us immediately.
Well, you could have just said that. You could have just said, "Hey guys, don't jump to violence." But
I mean,
somebody broke into our cabin.
I mean, in his defense, jumping to violence is kind of what we do.
We're not doing it right. It's not like we were somehow I find it entirely wild that you didn't just tell us.
You did just shoot a man in the stomach 2
He
days ago.
asked. He asked and you approved. This
Speaking
isn't about
of
me.
jumping to violence.
I just thought that you would have told us. I would have told you. And I'll just leave it at that then.
I mean, I did. I told everybody, just again, not the second it happened
Like
or the second
12
everybody woke
hours
up.
later, after we brought it up.
And again, MD and Easy both woke up looking pretty rough. They seemed like they didn't sleep great or something.
Easy never sleeps great anymore.
I figured we could just do our studies and not worry about it and then come back to it.
Clearly, I'm outnumbered, but I haven't known our sleep-deprived nature or exhausted states to have kept us from any other dangerous part of our journey. I don't understand what the holdup was, but
At this point, Reese would step over and just put up a hand. Look, I'm inclined to agree with you on this, honestly. But in the same breath, I don't really see any value in digging that far into it now. What's done is done. You expressed your displeasure. I think you're an idiot, for what it's worth. But I thought we should have trusted him in the first place.
thank you. I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Cammy,
I'm not going to bed.
I've been... What? I don't know. Meditating doesn't seem the right word. Focusing, maybe. Practicing? I don't feel like I'm really doing anything. Let me try it again. And she just holds her hands out to you. While everyone's here in case anything goes wrong.
Try and, like, get in there again?
Just give me your hands. This is the whole point of it, isn't it?
Well, I kind of, like, shoot a glance towards EZ. I was like, that's not really the end goal, actually. I mean, I suppose it's part of it, but...
Which is why it's better tested with anyone else. You're the only other one with real understanding of magic. I know where we want to go with this, but...
Okay, no, you're right.
I figure
I'm just nervous.
This is a better time than any, because if anything happens, again, everyone's here. Everyone's here waiting, but, well, nothing else happening. God's willing. Just for a moment.
I'll hold out my hands.
And as Rishi takes him, and she looks directly into Cammy's eyes, and you see the two of them just standing there inside the door for a moment. Rishi reaching all the way down. Cammy reaching up. No table to do it across like they had at the tea house. Just gazes locked. And then all of you feel yourself falling. Everything goes dark. Everything goes silent. There's just that sensation, like when you're on the very verge of falling asleep. That jolt, that pull, that sensation like you've tipped a chair just a little bit too far backwards. You missed the last step at the bottom of the stairs.
I tried. It would have been very funny, but it's locked. Ah.
You feel that stretched out for several seconds. Moments of that tumbling backward sensation. Before you find yourselves dropped unceremoniously into water. You hear the splash as the first sound that pierces through this nothing. It's maybe a foot and a half deep. You don't fall into an ocean or anything. And at the bottom, it's soft, malleable, like sand. And as you look around, you see, once again, an oasis sat in the middle of a desert. Almost complete darkness of night. The only light coming from the bright, beaming, pale whiteness of a huge moon hanging overhead. Either massive or unreasonably close to the sands of this desert, lighting it up almost like morning. The brightness of the moon itself far greater than the very, very dim darkness of the ground below. And as you look around, you see another figure at the edge of the oasis, limping forward, wounded, bloodied. One arm reached out, covering the stump of a shoulder, where their other arm has been entirely severed, is Wyrelai. The last faces I expected to find here.
Look a little more hurt than the last time we saw you.
Good evening.
She looks much otherwise like she did when last you saw her at the caravanserai. In a similar desert somewhere else in the dream. A glaive still slung across her back. That traveling gear, damaged, cut, and bloodied. She has seemingly not had a good time since last you saw her, and many of her wounds look somewhat fresh. How have you arrived here?
Accident.
I was wondering that too.
Look at Cammy.
It's my mind oasis.
This is a place very much real like any other. It is a place in the dream. This is no vision. I am here, after all.
That's true.
Is Racy with us?
She is not. Just the five of you.
We're here by accident, same as always. Something or another pulls us back because we're connected. That's my only guess.
It did not take you long to find this place. Has been what? Less than a day?
For you. About a month for us.
A day that has felt as a month for me. I overstepped. Last we met. I made mistakes.
Yep.
I cannot change how things have happened now, but I have suffered greatly for it. I had hoped simply to save you from your own fates, from your own choices, but they are not mine to bend. I accept this now.
What tore into you?
The king. Well, not directly, but I know his will when I see it manifest. As I said, I have overstepped. I hope you will forgive me, though no apology will suffice, perhaps. You have had, well, you said some time to reconsider, hopefully, and yet you are here, so I doubt you have. But you said this was an accident. So I have many questions. Questions there may not be time for answers. You do not know how you are here. You have no idea, no connection. It has simply happened.
We didn't do the ritual.
And you are not projections. You are you.
Couldn't tell you. We've done the ritual and been real. We've done the ritual and been projections. Stuff doesn't make sense anymore.
Respectfully, our means of getting here is no longer of your concern.
That is fair. Your grudge is understandable and common for mortals to keep. In your short lives, your minds are a flurry of emotions. Connections that you make between things and events. Causes and reasons inferred and assumed. It is just the way you are made. It is no fault of yours. I do not mean to offend. I perhaps come across to your kind as blunt. I simply state things as they are. I have dedicated my life to discovery, to answering questions, to learning. And that is difficult. when you have just so much emotion. I have let go of what little I once possessed. With me, you can trust that nothing is personal.
That much I believe.
Well, fate has no coincidences. We have both arrived here at the same time of day for me, a month for you.
Roughly.
Neither of us fully understanding our journeys. What this means, I do not know. I can only assume.
Do we have our dream stuff?
You do not.
Now the question is, how do we get back?
Same as always. Who knows? Should just be able to wake up.
Can you?
I'll take a moment to attempt.
Make me a will save.
18 on the die.
I was like, what?
No.
I guess your will is that low. You could roll
on
an
a
18.
5, I got an 18.
That's what
31.
In 31, you close your eyes. There's no pressure right now. It's just a strange situation. You focus. You open them. Still standing here knee deep in the water. The
Well-
air is somewhat frigid in the desert at night. Nothing like the wastes you had experienced before, but a chill nonetheless.
Back to square one. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Kind of like what happened to me back on the ice planet.
And the way we woke up last time is awake right now, so...
Ice planet.
What was the place called again?
Not
Many
a
of the
clue.
plateaus of Leng are frigid and frozen. Their altitude's high, but nothing I would describe as such.
And we also met a man draped in yellow robes wearing a mask.
You speak of things that even I have no knowledge of. Though it sounds like something of which I should be aware.
I think it was Celify?
I don't know if you got a name for
We didn't get a name for the place. We were told that we were in Carcosa.
I thought was what I have written down was Celify was opulent and populous. City
Celify
seems
is the way you
frozen.
went to get the Viscount Scala.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the... I was assuming were the two weird little dudes in the well in the cave under the mansion are from.
The chunk of that planet that was pulled into Carcosa. That's where we were.
The chunk of the world itself, or of Carcosa proper.
We were only told we were in Carcosa, and it was a frigid waste, as we were told by the weird aliens.
In my life, I have had many questions, but very few that I have sought the answer to, as many as this one. How?
We did the ritual. We went there. And it took us there instead of where it was supposed to.
It took us physically there.
Not dream us, but us.
Your fated thread winds in ways that are impossible to follow.
At this point, it's a ball of yarn.
Many would claim as such, but what has befallen you? The roads that you walk, unbeknownst even to your own will. Perhaps feeling as if they are not even your own choices, I cannot even begin to understand. But I feel the answer to many of my questions are too the answer to many of yours. I have had a long life, traveling through many walks, many planes, many worlds. I have worn many names. But with none of them have I come across a story similar to yours. You ask questions I had not even thought to ask. I thought, perhaps, when I met in your world, I was close to understanding, but now I realize how much further there is yet to go. This does not help your predicament now, of course. But I both do not know how to aid you, and fear retaliation if I do. Your path is not mine to interfere with. This much has been made clear. So, the last time we all stood on this place together, circumstances were very different.
You were upset about like our connection to the doll or something?
I speak more of here specifically,
Uh,
this oasis.
hmm.
We journeyed here before with your count and with your witch. Things played out differently. You remember?
In fragments.
These are the very waters in which you lost yourselves. And somewhere down there under the surface, perhaps, your memories still lurk. The rest of you. It's possible, is as likely, if not more likely, than anything else. And I do not have any better ideas.
Perhaps if I swim down far enough, I can find them.
There's little depth in which to swim. The water of the oasis itself is quite shallow, as you can see, standing amongst its deepest point now.
How big is the actual body of water?
Well, it's a few dozen feet across. Like it's fairly wide. It's a sizable, shallow area that has collected what is realistically a pretty large amount of water for it to be a foot and a half deep throughout much of that whole
It's like
expanse.
a small pond.
It is more of a pond. It's not a tiny little oasis. There's much space around you. The reflection of that giant moon visible on that perfectly flat surface.
I don't understand. I thought the mad poet took our memories, not dumped them in an oasis.
He facilitated. But all rituals require a focus. All great magic does in general. That is a truth I have found holds throughout the cosmos, throughout dimensions, throughout worlds. Magic may operate differently, but fundamentally it must always be channeled. This oasis itself, the focus for the mad poet's works. He uses it for his collections. It is as a library for him.
I'd like to read aura on the water.
Okay. You
It's hydrating.
open yourself up to the pond itself. You find nothing. No magical signature whatsoever. Just clear, mundane sand and water.
Isn't his hut somewhere nearby?
Normally it is. He is nomadic. Does not stay in one place forever. This is why part of why we would need aid to find him. Though often I have found him here. I personally have never met him anywhere else.
I don't sense anything special about that water.
Nor would you about the focus of many rituals, or your own hands as you use them to weave spells. It is but a tool. Water itself has interesting magical properties. You may be familiar with the abilities of flowing water, to be able to stymie divinations, to block readings, to hide signatures of magic. Still water, too, has its uses, though much different. Trey. Magus planes in the chat.
I'm gonna eat it.
Keep these hero points. You can't have. You gotta have hero points. They're cool and neat.
Then what do you suggest we do?
Surge of speed. We
Fast.
could do that.
As I said, I do not know. And if I had an answer, I do not know it would be wise for me to give to you. I would advise that you think. Study yourselves here, perhaps. Reflect on your recollections. And if there is anything to be learned, as I said, this may be the place.
Just gonna sit down in the water.
Meditation time.
If I look into the water, what do I see in the reflection?
The incredibly bright disk of the moon is
A
the most
ghoulish
obvious thing.
visage.
You look down and you see a reflection of yourself. No green scales, no Lang features, just normal material ghoul Marius. looking back up from the water at you. But as you look at it in this moonlight here in the desert, it doesn't seem right. There's nothing obvious, but looking at your reflection feels wrong. Like it's not you. Like you're not connected to that somehow. The rest of you, looking down at the waters, wouldn't recognize the face you see at all. It's yours. In features, in appearance, in color and shape, it's yours through and through. But it's like looking at a picture of a stranger. You have absolutely no recollection of the face you see before you.
Well, I think that somebody's gonna have to bite the bullet here.
What are we biting?
What are we doing?
I'm not really certain.
I'm gonna stare. I'm gonna focus on my reflection at the water, and I'm gonna try to recall something. Even if I latch onto flashbacks we had of me and Easy, or me murdering that poor innocent girl out in the courtyard. I'm just gonna try to pull for something.
You look deeply into those eyes, staring back at you from the surface of this still oasis, just reaching out, focusing as hard as you can, trying to think of anything. It's your own mind that calls back flashes of the visions that you'd had throughout your journey since Thrushmoor. Your own brain searching for some kind of connection, what little memories you have, trying to draw out something. But as you look, you start to see the differences. At least things that seem different to you. The face is younger. It doesn't quite have all of the same scars. The look in the eyes is different. There's a joy in there that you haven't felt in a while. And as you look at it, it does start to look a little more familiar. It starts to feel a little more right, like something that should be a reflection of you. But just as you start to get that little bit of a connection, it starts to warp and distort, turning from a shape of MD, what would be recognizable to anyone, what you could show to anyone and they would just say that's you, to something distorted, malformed, misshapen, and dark. It does for all of you. As these shapes twist and writhe into their own forms, expanding, stretching, reaching outwards, and bubbling up, disturbing the still surface of the oasis, as, in a woe from Moroku-san, whatever they are true reflections of rise up from the waters on their own. And next week, when we come back,
Let's go.
we will see what consequences that has. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Strange Aeons. I'm starting to think I'm not going to get to use my Daldron stats I have down here. That's okay. I made them knowing that there was I figured over 50-50 on whether or not we would end up fighting this man. He does have some stats.
You got some stats.
He got some stats. We'll see. It's not impossible. It could still come to pass. Anything could happen. What's a family without an occasional fight, right? Nobody perfectly gets along forever.
It could be anything. It could
And
even
nobody
be a boat.
I
can
doubled.
hold on forever.
You're doing fine.
Kevin.
You'll be fine.
These are really heavy.
That's going to be it for us today, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are about to do the next phase of every episode that we record, which is a post show. We've mentioned it a couple times during this show with things that hopefully we'll remember to bring up, or we'll just derail immediately and go on insane tangents for 20 minutes. The post shows are 50-50, honestly. Sometimes we even talk about the episode that
I feel like we're very consistent.
with what?
The post shows.
Consistently chaotic.
Consistently chaotic is fair.
This is-
If you head on over to either Patreon or Ko-fi and support us with just $5 a month, you get access to all the post-show content we make for every episode of every adventure that we run here on the UGT show. And while that's all there is there right now, we're hoping to get some more stuff there in the future, which is just, I know I've been saying that for a while, but like, man, a lot of stuff is happening scheduling-wise right now. Just trust, we got things coming. If you want to get some cool discounts and some nice stuff we use ourselves, hey, you see all these cool Norse Foundry dice we rolled through the entire session? Go to their site and use code UGT show. You get 10% off anything on the site. Take that same code to Eldritch Foundry. We had to take table cam out back for the moment because we had a USB port that died. But hey, we still have all these really cool minis from Eldritch Foundry. They've also got that same discount, 10%, that same code UGT show. And then we didn't get to any maps today. I wasn't honestly sure what we'd do today. It was very up in the air what was going to happen with this session because you could have completed researches and kind of done things. You could have just said screw it until Riverton. There are so many ways this could have gone. They're not just a virtual tabletop. They're pretty good map making software too. Arkenforge, same code. It's UGT show and everything. We do use it to display the NPC art. That's true. It's always involved in every episode at least a little bit. That's going to be it for us today. Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Stay sane.